So the first player we're going to talk about tonight for another continuation on the resume review series is Sharkz, a player that has been memed in the past when rankings come out that he's going to be an X part of the ranking and Y part of the rankings. So there's no need to meme no longer. We'll look at his results. We'll find out about where he's going to end up and see if he's either going to fall short of his 70th from last year or do a little bit better. We're not going to have an exact answer to that right now, but just to kind of get a general feel of how he's played this year. Starting off with a very strong 25th at Genesis 6, taking two very respectable losses and picking up a really good win over KGH. KGH is definitely someone I need to look over his year. It's sad to hear that he said he's not going to be competing nearly as much. I think he said like very minimally in 2020, which is disappointing to see, but I don't know how he's going to cap off his last, hopefully not last, but last at least in the recent future coming up. So he has win over Cody. Is that win over Cody, win over Swedish, up on Ginger at locals, up on Duck, win over West Balls. I'm concerned if he has a lot of losses similar to the Sharkz loss, of players like right outside the top 50 or not in the top 50. It seems like a decently respectable resume, like nothing I would write home about, nothing I'm like super excited seeing. Like, I mean, an IBDW Swedish, winning record on Ginger, winning record on Duck is like a very good top end of your resume, but it's kind of what I would expect from KGH. So that basically tells us the long story that a win over KGH is still good. Losing to either of these two players, not that big of a deal. Going down to 9th, the script wins over Leighton, Jerry, and Magi. If he has kind of losses, Silly Willy is a Falco from MDVA. I believe he was on like 1 or 2 rankings ago, but he's not PR'd on the current one, if I remember correctly from my research. And then the other loss there was to Boyd, which is 67th, and I believe it was an Icy's Ditto. Yeah. Icy's from North Ohio. Actually, I don't think it's fair to, because we got to talk about Sharkz as a player who's looking essentially to defend his 70th rank. I don't think the Leighton win for someone of this caliber is really something highlighting. Not that Leighton isn't a good player, but I think linking the Leighton win with a Magi win and a Jerry win feels unfair to Magi and Jerry for how good of players they are in comparison to Leighton. I feel like there's definitely a gap there. And then we move down to Enchai Ultra, another great tournament, picking up another win over Magi, beating Hi-Fi's Puff. Who would have thought that Icy's have some bad losses and kind of what you would come to expect? And we're going to see, essentially, this is the last, I'd say, standout, or even like, I might even go as far as say the last good tournament Sharkz has is in the 3rd month of the year. And he really didn't attend much holistically for the entire year, but there's really nothing great. Yeah, there's nothing really good to say about his last stretch of events. A lot of losses to Cool Limes, like around this area, Drunk Sloth, losing another Icy's Ditto. Also Cool Lime. Yeah, that's a double Icy's loss. Yeah, that's a whack way to get 17th, honestly. How many Icy's were at CEO? Sidworth, Babbage is a Falcon, if I remember correctly, and Sidward is a Luigi Fox. What a combo. North Carolina, he just essentially just got rocked by North Carolina, it looks like, because Babbage is number 1. And again, it is good seeing him winning the run back against Sidward at the same tournament, so I don't think I'm going to count that as much against him. That's kind of a firm belief of the SaveAsUntitled brand. And I think like generally people kind of view it as that way. Like if a player plays someone twice at a tournament and they like lose the first time and come back to win the second one, I think in the future, if those two players are to meet, I would expect the player who won the second match to win the next one. But yeah, so let's continue on highlighting the players that he lost to. Papa and JJM. JJM, I could not find, if anyone knows who JJ, or I have the wrong name written down here, so that might have hindered in that. If anyone knows who JJM is, I could not for the life of me find any more information about him. JJM is a Jersey Ices and used to be Peach player. Also, I wonder if he played him in the Ditto or if that was a Peach Ices. Ended a tournament losing to 2 Ices. Dude, I wouldn't attend any more tournaments if I go out to CEO and Super Smash Con and I get double eliminated by Ices 2 events in a row. And then finishing off the year at Chapel Thrills, Dash and ADMJ. ADMJ is a Peach from Jacksonville. again, and then Dash is a fox from North Carolina. So another a peach. He's just very, very unfortunate with the characters and players that he's drawing. Not that that's anything to take away from. It's more to keep in mind that like when an Ices runs into a peach, or when you run into those weird, really bad matchups, Ices deserve to play peaches in bracket. Yeah, that was kind of the response I was expecting to get. With such a short resume, this pretty much brings us to the end of our discussion on Sharkz. I think he'll probably make top 100. I think there's actually a really good possibility that he drops lower than 70th. But having such a really bad stretch at finishing off the year and not really attending like the big 3-month gap here, and just showing that he's kind of maybe he just got some poor brackets running into Ices and Peaches, but ending off the year and showing like the trend being that he started off strong and then is trending downwards leads me more to like, if there's two players, say they have similar losses and wins, like someone around this caliber has like a KGH and like 2-0 over Magi and a Jerry win, I'd be more inclined to give it to someone who either is trending upwards or has competed around the same the entire year. This whole ending the year with a lot of bad losses really does concern me. I think Sharkz most likely finishes lower than 70th with all these losses finishing off his year. Nothing to scoff at wins over KGH, Jerry, and Magi. 2 wins over Magi. Yeah, and I don't have a good gauge on where Jerry's going to finish here. Is he on the wheat sheet? Yeah, what does Jerry have? He really doesn't have much here. Went over Vlad. That must have been a hard-fought battle. Oh, okay, so he won the first set of grand finals and then got swept. So I wonder if Vlad won a secondary or something else there. Still, Jerry's a good win, even low attendance. KGH is a good win, even if he's going to fall off from where he's from. So I think Sharkz makes the top 100. It's just really concerning for his trajectory in the years to come. About where I think Sharkz will end up, maybe like 75 to 90. Again, as I always have to say, and I hate that I always have to say this. I actually don't hate that I always have to say this. I think it's important to include the disclaimer that a lot of these players, a lot of the players around this range are really hard to rank, and seeing exactly where they're going to fall in, which is generally why I give these pretty generally big ranges, is because we need to see the wins and the losses of everyone around here to shuffle them around. So I think 75 to like 95 feels like a good place for Sharkz with all these good wins he has here. So we will see him in like the first 3 or 4 articles, so no need to meme about Sharkz this year. And that about does it for me.